On the news, Senate to meet President Tinubu on security challenges facing the country. House of Representatives seeks improved living wage for workers. Plus, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning reassures Nigerians of better days ahead. A very warm welcome to Thursday's NTA Parliament news, reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital city. And praise Umachuku. Tuesday night, communities in parts of Benue State with reported loss of lives and property has attracted the attention of lawmakers in the Senate as they urge authorities to do more in preventing security breaches. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the issue came up as a matter of urgent public importance, with the leadership resolving to meet President Tinubu to present legislators' perspective on how to address national security challenges.
Senator Emmanuel Udende, representing Benue North East, raised the issue as lawmakers settled for the business of the day. He noted the impact of the spate of attacks on economic and social life of residents.
The residents of the villages and communities now find themselves targeted on a daily basis by heavily armed terrorists, and the toll continues to be staggering as they bear the brunt, with reports of marauders butchering several villages, leaving many homes completely burnt down, and numerous residents still missing, while the perpetrators, however, remain elusive and have not been apprehended.
Some of these bandits hide out in forests in our various communities, like in Agatu, like I said that time. They have forests and they have locations. So the mystery of it is that why have we not been able to pick them out of these forests?
If you continue to do the same thing over and over again, and you do not get, you get the same answer, nothing being done. Why do we have to continue to do the same thing?
Need to sit down with Mr. President, who is the Commander-in-Chief. Our securities have the capacity. All they need, as I said, is team. Training, equipment, motivation is what they need.
Senator Udende assured the good people of the areas affected that this matter is now before the floor of the Senate and that we are taking serious actions. We work with the presidency to ensure that normalcy is restored in those areas, and particularly the victims are also catered for.
A minute's silence was observed in honor of those who lost their lives. The lawmakers asked the Committee of the Whole made some adjustments to some clauses in the bill seeking to change the nomenclature of the National Assembly Library Trust Fund to the National Assembly Research Center.
The essence of this amendment, Mr. Chairman and distinguished colleagues, is to ensure that the person who will be eligible for appointment as executive secretary, one of the qualifications would be to have served as a member of either the Senate or the House of Reps, not just House of Reps.
The bill was subsequently passed. Bill seeking to amend the Electoral Act was among the 5 that passed first reading. Senate has confirmed the appointment of Amidou Tadese and Faswa Bayomi as commissioners for the National Population Commission. The report of the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions was adopted as it urges University of Abuja to rescind its decision on the rustication of a student, Igwe Chukwuemeka, on alleged wrongful accusation. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
A laborer is worthy of his or her wages is a common phrase. However, lawmakers in the Green Chamber have rephrased this to say that laborers are worthy of living wages commensurate with current economic realities. And to this effect, the House of Representatives has constituted an ad hoc committee to look into modalities for the payment of living wages to Nigerian workers at rates that match economic realities. Well, National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports deliberations at Wednesday's plenary.
Deputy Minority Leader Aliyu Sani Madaki presented a motion on behalf of 40 lawmakers who are pushing for a new living wage for workers. He argues that with growing inflation, the purchasing power of workers is increasingly on the decline.
Presently, no laborer can live in Nigeria with a wage of less than 100,000 naira. Unless very immediate and pragmatic steps are taken to improve the income of Nigerians, more Nigerians will go down the economic line with the poor population increasing. This, in effect, will lead to desperation.
The House drew the attention of security agencies to the tide of banditry in Katsina State, calling for urgent security measures.
Some gangs of armed bandits from neighboring Kaduna and Zamfara states are making all efforts to gain control over some communities in Katsina State. The same issue is happening in Benue State, the same issue is happening in Niger State, the same issue is happening in some part of the southeast.
Adopting other motions, the House mandates its Committee on National Planning and Economic Development to investigate implementation of the national budget. This is to determine compliance with authorized funding structure for ministries, departments, and agencies of government.
To review the need and rationale for exemption of some government institutions from the envelope regime on the national budgetary system.
2 infrastructure bills scaled second reading.
To engage with the Transmission Company of Nigeria and the other relevant agencies to expedite immediate connection of Ringim and Toro local governments to the national grid.
To amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to provide for the establishment of the Federal Medical Centers in Simbaki in Wamba, Nasarawa State.
A bill for an act to establish National Tax Crimes and Oversight Commission also scaled second reading. The proposed commission, lawmakers say, will address revenue leakages emanating from tax evasion and related crimes. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikpen, NTA News.
The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, is appealing to Nigerians to believe in the commitment of the present administration under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in implementing reforms that will turn around the fortunes of the country. And this was during an oversight by House Committee on National Planning and Economic Development to the ministry. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed has more.
Citing programs and policies of government in line with the renewed hope, the Minister Atiku Bagudu called on Nigerians to keep faith as government is doing everything possible to relieve the citizens of the current economic difficulties. He says already government is implementing short, medium and long-term measures to cushion the effects of hardship, ensure food security and provide infrastructure for development.
Importantly and equally noteworthy, the 2024 budget, the National Assembly again provided more money to all those sectors that we believe can support growth and resumption of economic growth and economic activity, as well as supporting our vulnerable population.
The chairman reiterated that Nigeria will continue to prosper as both arms prioritize welfare of the citizens, synergizing to achieve results.
So it's a kind of synergy for us to chart the way forward, and it's a continuous exercise. It's not even it didn't just start today, so it's part of our engagements. The minister and his team, they've been coming to the National Assembly, and we call it further. Okay, oversighting them, check the records, and still see areas we can align and adjust, being representatives of the people.
In Abuja, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Now the House of Representatives Committee on Pensions has pledged to support the National Pension Commission in line with the PENCOM Reform Act 2014 to provide effective and efficient service delivery for Nigerians during an oversight visit to the Commission. Lawmakers promised to facilitate prompt payment of retirees' entitlement. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
20 years into the reforms in the pension administration in Nigeria, many feats have been achieved, with some challenges identified.
It is important, Chairman and members of the Pension Committee, to note that it is illegal for the pension funds to be loaned or borrowed, because there are so many stories going around that the government borrowed the money. Nobody can ever borrow the money because there is no provision for that. The pension industry is not a bank, so it cannot loan the money, and it cannot, nobody can borrow from it. It's not possible. It is illegal. It has never happened before, and it will never happen.
Commenting further, members of the committee stressed the need for PENCOM as a regulator to checkmate alleged dubious activities of some of the pension funds administrators, improve on its services, and consolidate the gains of the reform for the benefit of Nigerians.
If there are any challenge or improvements on this tax, yes, if there are, we will humbly want you to put it so that we can start to look inwards towards giving you the best part.
The pension industry in Nigeria has improved in the ratio of the PENCOM, parliamentary pension, and the rest. And I still believe that there is room for improvement. That is why we're here to put heads together to see how the National Assembly, particularly the House of Reps, can bring reforms to improve the pension industry.
The committee is expected to report back to the plenary for amendment of the Pension Act 2014. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Women parliamentarians have been advised to unite with a shared vision and take significant strides in the quest for inclusivity and representation in parliamentary matters. And this was during the second day of the Roundtable Summit on Women Inclusion in Politics to commemorate the International Women's Day. National Assembly correspondent Amina Seyudu reports.
This is a gathering of women parliamentarians from the 36 states and the FCT for the second day to explore ways of addressing issues and chart the way forward.
The status for women representation in Nigeria is poor, and within the continent, there are countries that perform better than us. But as it is, well, we have less than 5% representation at the national level, not to mention the state assemblies.
In a society where patriarchal norms and systemic biases often hinder women's advancement, we must stand together as allies and advocates.
The theme, Inspiring Inclusion, Policy Mechanisms for Gender Parity in Politics, paved way for discussions.
These advocacies will stem from our cultural heads, because part of our problems have been the knowledge or the nuances or innuendos that women ought not to be trusted with positions of trust or positions as high as headships or leaderships.
When we started this 10th Assembly, the number of programs we've had with women is uncountable since inception of this 10th Assembly, because of the personality of the women involved in this Women in Politics projects.
If we really want to change this narrative and we really want to include women, then there has to be a legal framework.
Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, the organizers of the summit, said it is committed to promoting transparency and accountability in policy and decision-making process. Amina Seidu, NTA News.
The Jigawa State Assembly has suspended 4 local government chairmen for alleged financial mismanagement and administrative racketeering. Ibrahim Sani reports that the suspension of the 4 local government chairmen formed part of the House Committee's report on oversight visit to 27 local governments in Jigawa State.
The House Committee on Local Government embarked on the oversight visit across the 27 local government councils in Jigawa State to assess the level of implementation of the 2022 and 2023 budget as approved by law. In the course of discharging these legislative duties, the committee, led by member representing Gwiwa at the State Assembly Aminu Zakari allegedly discovered several irregularities, mismanagement, and financial indiscipline, which contravened the government's desire to achieve prudent and transparent management of resources across the 27 local government councils in Jigawa State. Against this backdrop, 4 local government chairmen of Gumel, Ringim, Auyo, and Dusi are suspended for alleged gross financial misconduct.
For the supposed allegation of misconduct, negligence of duties, and indicious spending of public funds without justification in line with provision of Section 9 of the local government law.
The House also approved for Kazore and Goram local government chairmen to be issued with strong warning for defaulting financial memorandum. However, 2 local government chairmen of Guri and Taura are commended for their commitment in moving their areas forward. Thereafter, the House constituted a 15-member committee and directed them to work in synergy with Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Agency of Jigawa State to investigate the suspended chairman and report its findings. In Dutse, Ibrahim Sani, NTA News.
Well, it's now time to go on a short break. Parliamentary news continues after with State House of Assembly's activities. Do stay tuned.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
The Nasarawa State House of Assembly has passed 2 bills on revenue and higher education for accent into law. They are the Nasarawa State College of Agriculture, Science and Technology Lafia Amendment Bill 2020 and the Nasarawa State Harmonization and Administration of Revenue Bill. The 2 executive bills are geared towards improving the state's internally generated revenue and standards of education in the state. Adams Abdul Kadri reports.
In a thorough deliberation on a report of the House Standing Committee on Education on the bill to establish the Wing Commander Abdullah Ibrahim Vocational and Technology Institute Lafia, mid drama ensued among the lawmakers. At the end of the day, meticulous analysis of educational needs, funding implications, audit account, and long-term societal impacts considerations substituted as they highlighted the complex interplay of educational policy, fiscal responsibility, and social welfare considerations.
After finding by the auditors, whether external or internal auditor, it is very important and pertinent to report back to the Auditor General of the state.
If you said it should be in the law, I have no problem with it, but we should also consider having all other laws that provide for the Auditor General to send external auditors to also report back.
The clause external auditor should be removed. Let's make it as they are coming as independent body. Bring their report. Anybody here can report, can ask them to bring that external report. The internal auditor should bring that report. Let's marry together. But if all of them have been appointed and also survived by the same person, that is something is wrong somewhere.
Speaker of the House, Danladi Jato, gave his verdict on the motion.
To give the internal auditor the power to also inform the external auditor that whatever they have done, they have to report to him, to the internal auditor, because he was appointed by the internal auditor. So whatever the external auditor, no matter what he's finding, he is to report back to the internal auditor. So even if there is specification like that, there is nothing wrong.
Among other bills that passes third reading was College of Agriculture, Science and Technology Lafia Amendment Bill 2020. Also, National State Harmonization and Administration Amendment Bill, which will regulate multi-taxation system in the state and activities of tax defaulters, passed third reading in Lafia Adams Abdulkadri, NTA News.
Oyo State House of Assembly takes step towards checkmating and regulating activities of estate agents in the state. Oyeyinka Omale has more.
Part of the resolutions contained in the motion as presented by the leader of the House, Sojo Adedoyin, was setting up of regulatory authority to register real estate agents in the state with a database, stop construction of buildings around mining and quarry sites, and put an end to fraudulent practices in procuring lands and buildings, among other resolutions.
Some estate agents in Oyo State are in the habit of collecting fees, such as registration fees, agency fees, agreement fees, caution fees, legal fees, and inspection fees, among several others.
This opened the floor for submissions from the lawmakers.
Not just anybody would think, since they are unemployed, they can become estate agents. So there should be measures to put in place for licensing of the estate agent.
How to phrase that coming from diaspora, that they already pay for the land, and when they go in there, I realize it's totally wrong what they told them, because they send the video, what they show them online, is not what's on the site.
Can we have a place or a group or where our people can report to if they were feeling cheated? So when the committee are working on it, I think it is necessary we have an agent or a place where they can report to.
But are these people really registered? Is there a means of bringing them together so that there will be proper monitoring of their activities?
There was a bill that we worked together on it called Land Administration and Control Law that we did in the Ninth Assembly. And we were able to pass through the third stage. But if this law has not been assented to, definitely to curb the activities of these people will be outside the purview of the power of the state, because there's no law guiding us.
Speaker Adepo Ogundoyin agreed with the lawmakers to put all the submissions together towards identifying the real problems and challenges within real estate sector in the state.
Chairman of House Committee on Lands and Housing to call for the executive governor to assent the Land Administration and Control Bill, I believe. The assent of this law will put in place measures to negate unscrupulous agents for the real estate sector.
Earlier, messages from the state governor, Seyi Makinde, seeking approval for the nomination of Justice Tajuddin Muhammad as President, Oyo State Customary Court of Appeal, establishment of State Tertiary Education Commission, and review of the law establishing First Technical University to rename it after late former Governor Abiola Ajimobi was read by the Speaker. The requests were forwarded to relevant House committees for necessary actions. In Ibadan, Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
Member representing Jaba constituency and Chairman House Committee on Information, Henry Mara, is calling for the creation of Ministry of Water Resources in Kaduna State to effectively address the problem of water shortages. He stated this while responding to the report of the ad hoc committee set up to investigate the problem of water shortages in Kaura, Ikara, and Jaba constituencies during plenary session at the Kaduna State House of Assembly complex.
The menace of contaminated water used for domestic purposes is common among rural communities. To address these challenges, a motion was moved during plenary session at the Kaduna State House of Assembly on how to come up with a lasting solution to shortages of potable water in Kaura, Ikara, and Jaba constituencies and Kaduna State at large. This led to the composition of an ad hoc committee to investigate the problem of water shortages in these constituencies and report back to the House.
The transformer, which served as the alternative source of power supply to treatment plant, developed multiple problems.
We want to call on the Kaduna State government to join other states and create the Ministry for Water Resources as it used to be, so that more and better attention will be given to that ministry for the provision of potable water.
Findings of the ad hoc committee reveals that the water treatment plants at Manchok, in Kaura and Kwai in Jaba constituencies are not functioning for the past 3 months and 3 years due to overload on the power supply plant.
fortunately, in the course of our work as a committee, the ministry that is saddled with the responsibility of seeing the activities of CASWORK, in collaboration with CASWORK, swung into action.
Most of these water disease, the disease we have comes from waterborne disease. So if we can fix our water system very well, it will equally reduce this typhoid and all these kind of disease that you see in our communities today.
Also, a bill for a law to establish the Kaduna State Electrification Agency 2024 scaled through second reading and was therefore referred to the Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for in-depth study. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
Well, that is the size of our bulletin for the day. Do remember to log on to NTA Parliament on the platforms on your screen. And on behalf of the production crew, many thanks for watching.